Welcome back to the channel, Rare Coins History, another exciting journey into the world of American currency where small coins can bring huge surprises. Today, we're focusing on one of the most iconic coins in American pocket change, the Roosevelt One Dime from 1991. At first glance, it might look just like the ordinary dimes you once used to buy candy or collect in jars, but what if I told you that some of these seemingly humble coins could be hiding a jaw-dropping fortune just waiting to be discovered? Stay with me because you won't believe how valuable these coins can actually be. Let's start our story in the early 1990s. The United States Mint was busy producing millions of Roosevelt dimes, continuing a tradition that began back in 1946. These dimes were designed in honor of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, celebrating his legacy and dedication to defeating the polio disease through the March of Dimes campaign. The 1991 Roosevelt dime carries this powerful historical symbolism. On the front of the coin, we see Roosevelt's dignified profile, a symbol of courage, leadership, and determination. Flip the coin over, and you'll be greeted with the classic torch, olive branch, and oak branch, representing liberty, peace, and strength. But hidden beneath that familiar design are details that turn an ordinary coin into an extraordinary treasure. Most 1991 dimes were heavily circulated, passed from hand to hand in everyday transactions, acquiring scratches, wear, and dull finishes. But a very small number were preserved straight from the mint in sharply struck, fully lustrous, high-grade condition. These pristine examples are what collectors crave. The sharpness of Roosevelt's hairlines, the boldness of the mint marks, and the gleaming fields of the coin all play a huge role in determining its value. A coin that still looks brand new after more than 30 years is something truly special, especially when it shows no traces of wear under magnification. Finding such a piece is like capturing a moment in American history perfectly frozen in time forever. Now here's where things get even more interesting. If your 1991 Roosevelt dime carries a mint mark indicating it was struck at the Denver Mint or the San Francisco Mint, you could be holding one of the scarcer variations. The mint mark can usually be found just above the date on the obverse of the coin. A crisp, well-defined D or S makes collectors pay attention. Even more thrilling are the rare examples struck with subtle minting errors. These could include off-center strikes, misaligned dies, double dies where details like the lettering or Roosevelt's profile appear slightly doubled, or coins that were accidentally struck on the wrong planchet metal blanks. These tiny mistakes that happen during production turn normal coins into breathtaking rarities because they are unique. No two error coins are ever exactly the same. Collectors are constantly scouring coin rolls, old piggy banks, and inherited collections in hopes of stumbling upon one of these elusive error dimes or flawless mint state specimens. And here's the key: original shine, strong strike, and perfect preservation can launch the value of a 1991 Roosevelt dime into unbelievable territory. Imagine you find one tucked away in a dusty drawer or sitting quietly in a jar of spare change, a coin others might overlook entirely. That single dime could be worth more than an entire car, or even enough to give your savings an incredible boost. So before you spend that little silver-colored coin, grab a magnifying glass and look closely. Check the date, examine the mint mark, and carefully inspect the condition of the coin. Look for razor-sharp details, mirror-like fields, and any unusual markings. Because in the thrilling world of coin collecting, it's the tiniest details that can make the biggest difference. Some people spend years chasing down these rare gems, while others discover them purely by chance. That's part of the excitement. You never know what historic fortune might be hiding right under your nose. Today we're setting our sights on a coin you might have seen hundreds of times without a second thought, the United States of America Roosevelt One Dime from the year 2007. It's the kind of coin that jingles unnoticed in pockets, slips quietly into coin jars, and rests at the bottom of drawers. But what if I told you that a rare version of this modern dime is hiding an astonishing secret value? Stay tuned because today we uncover the mystery, beauty, and potential fortune behind the remarkable 2007 Roosevelt dime. The story begins in 2007, a year when the United States Mint continued its proud tradition of honoring President Franklin D. Roosevelt, a man whose leadership and humanitarian achievements are forever etched into American history. Although decades had passed since the original design debuted in 1946, the Roosevelt dime of 2007 preserved every detail of this beloved tribute. His strong, confident portrait, boldly facing left, symbolizes resilience and national strength. Flip the coin, and you'll find the powerful trio of images: the blazing torch in the center representing liberty, flanked by an olive branch of peace and an oak branch of victory, all combining to deliver a message of American pride and perseverance. Yet within this familiar design lies a much bigger story for collectors ready to look beyond the surface. Most 2007 Roosevelt dimes were produced for everyday spending, meant to be passed from hand to hand in grocery stores, gas stations, and vending machines. Because of this constant use, the majority of these coins are now worn down, scuffed, and dulled from circulation. However, a very small number were preserved straight from the mint in pristine, untouched condition. These are the dimes that sparkle with original mint luster, offering perfect details and sharp features under close inspection. The shine reflects light like a mirror, and even under magnification, you'll find no signs of wear. These incredibly well-preserved examples are the ones coin collectors desperately hunt for, especially when they spot a rare mint mark or special variation. And speaking of mint marks, this tiny letter, found just above the date, is where the hunt gets exciting. A bold D indicates the Denver Mint, while an S points to a San Francisco Mint proof strike, both of which command strong interest from numismatists. Proof coins from San Francisco are struck multiple times to create jaw-dropping detail and a beautiful contrast between frosted devices and polished backgrounds. Spotting one of these in flawless condition is like finding a jewel. Even more alluring are dimes with mysterious mint errors, born out of mechanical missteps during production. These include fascinating mistakes like double dies, where the letters or Roosevelt's profile appear slightly doubled, clipped planchets resulting in coins missing a small crescent of metal, off-center strikes that shift the design dramatically, or even pieces accidentally struck on blank metal meant for foreign coins. These quirky errors are incredibly rare, and because no two are exactly alike, they send collectors into a frenzy every time a new one is discovered. Treasure hunters across the country sort through rolls of coins from banks, inherit dusty boxes of change from relatives, and search cash registers, hoping to snag one of these special 2007 dimes. The difference between a regular coin and a valuable rarity often comes down to endless patience and eagle-eyed attention. The thrill of discovering one of these gems lies in the mystery of not knowing what your next handful of change could contain. Could you be holding one of the incredibly limited 2007 Roosevelt dimes that skipped circulation and survived in brilliant mint state condition, or even better, could yours possess a quirky error that skyrockets its worth far beyond its face value? To find out, grab a strong magnifying glass and start hunting. Study the fine details in Roosevelt's hair, the clarity of the lettering, and the timeless symbols on the reverse. Look for strong, untouched surfaces that gleam with fresh luster. Identify the mint mark and search for unusual markings, misalignments, doubling, or any strange imperfections that set your coin apart from the rest. This is where the magic happens, when a coin looks ordinary at first, but under close inspection reveals extraordinary traits that make collectors willing to pay top dollar. Today's spotlight is on a small but mighty coin that many people handle every day without realizing its true potential, the United States of America Roosevelt I dime from the year 1999. At first glance, it may look like an ordinary dime, just another 10-cent piece rattling around in your pocket or hiding in your piggy bank. But don't be fooled. Some rare versions of this coin can be worth a stunning amount of money, and today we're diving deep into what makes this 1999 dime so special and how you could be holding a mini fortune without even knowing it. The story begins in 1999, a year right before the turn of the millennium, when people were excitedly preparing for a new era. The United States Mint continued its long-standing tradition of honoring President Franklin D. Roosevelt, a symbol of strength, leadership, and national pride. Enthroned on the obverse side of the coin is Roosevelt's bold profile, facing left, immortalized with precise detailing that has made this design a timeless classic since its introduction in 1946. The reverse features the equally iconic symbols of the torch, olive branch, and oak branch, powerful representations of liberty, peace, and victory. But while the design remained familiar to the American public, what makes the 1999 Roosevelt dime particularly sought after are the rare varieties and exceptional mint state examples that set certain coins apart from the rest. Millions of Roosevelt dimes were minted in 1999 for everyday circulation. Most went on to be passed around in daily transactions, slowly losing their sharp details and shiny finish. These circulated coins usually show scratches, nicks, and dullness from handling. Yet only a very small number escaped this fate and were preserved immediately after minting. These pristine specimens, known as mint state coins, shimmer with vibrant luster, showcasing sharp strikes and incredibly fine details. Under a magnifying glass, you would still be able to see Roosevelt's hair strands crisply defined, clean smooth fields free from marks, and bold lettering along the rim. These are the quality serious collectors crave because they demonstrate that the coin has remained untouched for decades, the mint mark plays a vital role in determining value. Located just above the date on the obverse, a bold letter P denotes Philadelphia, D stands for Denver, and S marks the special proof strikes from San Francisco. Proof coins especially command a lot of attention thanks to their mirror-like backgrounds and frosted devices. Made with extra care using polished dies and planchets, these coins shine with unmatched precision. If you're lucky enough to find a proof version from San Francisco in flawless condition, you'll be holding something truly exceptional. But beyond standard mint marks, it's the sensational error coins that can send collectors into a frenzy. These accidental treasures were produced when machinery at the mint slipped up. Sometimes the dies struck the coin twice, creating a doubled image on lettering or the date, and other times the coin was misaligned and struck off-center or even cut slightly short by clipped planchets, leaving curious missing pieces of metal. Some legendary examples were even struck on the wrong planchets entirely, using metal blanks meant for other denominations or countries. These one-of-a-kind mistakes can transform a common coin into an extremely rare and highly desirable collectible. Across the United States, passionate hobbyists pour through bank rolls, estate collections, flea markets, and old jars of change in hopes of stumbling upon one of these exceptional 1999 dimes. They know the key to unlocking a fortune lies in being observant and persistent. If you want to start your own hunt, grab a powerful magnifier and study every detail carefully. Examine Roosevelt's facial features, check the edges for full reading, and look closely for any unusual patterns or imperfections. Watch for dazzling luster and surfaces that look brand new. Even the tiniest mint error can significantly boost the value of your coin. And most importantly, pay close attention to the mint mark and date combination. Not all 1999 dimes are made equal, and the ones that truly drive collectors wild are those that have survived more than 2 decades in untouched, perfect condition. It might sound unbelievable, but the truth is that while millions of people have spent these dimes without a second thought, a few lucky collectors have discovered extraordinary specimens hiding in plain sight. It could be tucked in a forgotten coin album, rescued from a coin-counting machine, or even hiding in your spare change at home. That's the thrill of coin collecting, the idea that a once ordinary dime could hold incredible value just waiting to be discovered by someone with a keen eye. Today we're turning back the clock to the bold and busy year of 1980 and putting the spotlight on a tiny yet powerful American classic, the Roosevelt one dime. You've probably handled dozens of these, tossed them into spare change jars, or even ignored them in the bottom of your purse or pockets. But before you overlook another dime from this year, listen closely. Some rare versions of the 1980 Roosevelt dime are worth far more than you could ever imagine, and if you're lucky enough to find one of these elusive coins, you might be holding a jackpot in disguise. Our story begins deep in the era of the late 20th century. The United States Mint was operating in full force, producing hundreds of millions of Roosevelt dimes for everyday use across the country. Proudly bearing the face of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, this dime was not only a coin but also a tribute to a man who tirelessly led America through the Great Depression and World War II, and championed the fight against polio through the March of Dimes. Every detail on the obverse of the coin, from the curve of Roosevelt's jawline to the sharp lettering of the word Liberty, was crafted to honor his legacy. The reverse also carries bold symbolic imagery, a blazing torch representing freedom, flanked by an olive branch of peace and an oak branch of strength. This trio boldly reminded Americans of the values their country stands for, even on its smallest denomination of circulating currency. But what truly separates the rare and valuable 1980 Roosevelt dimes from the ordinary ones rattling around in change drawers is not just historical symbolism, it's the small variations, mint marks, and pristine conditions that collectors dream about. First, let's talk mint marks. Just above the date, you'll find a tiny letter indicating where it was struck. A P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, or an S for San Francisco. Each mint mark has its own story to tell, and some combinations of mint mark and condition are much scarcer than others. Proof coins from San Francisco, in particular, are known for incredible mirror-like finishes and frosted designs that glimmer like jewels in the light, but only when preserved with absolute care straight from the mint. These proof strikes were not meant for pocket change, but for collectors, and if you manage to find one that has never been handled or damaged, consider yourself extraordinarily lucky. Beyond mint marks, one of the most thrilling aspects of collecting Roosevelt dimes from 1980 lies in the hunt for mint errors, those accidental quirks that turned ordinary coins into shocking rarities. Imagine a coin struck slightly off-center so that part of the design is shifted and incomplete, or a bizarre double die where Roosevelt's profile and the lettering appear slightly doubled if you look carefully. Some dimes from 1980 were even struck on the wrong metal planchets altogether, giving them a strange size, unusual color, or odd weight. These rare mistakes happened so quickly at the mint that only a few slipped into circulation, making them almost legendary today. These are the coins that serious collectors are willing to pay small fortunes for, knowing full well how difficult they are to find. Across America, patient collectors and curious enthusiasts search roll after roll of dimes, rummage through old coin jars, and closely study inherited coin albums from grandparents, all for the hope of finding that one exceptional 1980 Roosevelt dime that could change everything. If you want to start your own search, look first for eye-catching shine. A true high-grade mint state coin will sparkle with original luster, and its surfaces will appear smooth and flawless under magnification. Every detail will be crisp. You'll see sharp hairlines on Roosevelt's head, full clean edges around the rim, and bright bold symbols on the reverse. If your coin looks worn, scratched, dull, or damaged, it's likely worth face value. But if it appears untouched, perfect, and features a rare mint mark or visible error, then congratulations, you might have discovered a genuine treasure. To get started on your hunt, make sure you have a powerful magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe, bright light, and plenty of patience. Examine each 1980 Roosevelt dime carefully. Look at the date, inspect the mint mark, and compare every detail against verified photos of known high-value errors. Keep a special eye out for off-center strikes, doubling on the lettering or numbers, and sharp edge reading that hasn't been worn down. You might even consider weighing the coin to see if it has the exact specifications, because sometimes errors involve unusual planchet metals or incorrect thickness. It might sound unbelievable, but stories have surfaced of people finding valuable Roosevelt dimes in the most unexpected places: forgotten piggy banks, yard sale coin buckets, or stuck behind old furniture where change slips and gets lost. This is the magic of numismatics, the idea that fortune can be hiding in something as tiny and common as a dime. So, next time you hold a 1980 Roosevelt dime in your hand, remember that you're holding a piece of history that could be worth so much more than 10 cents. Today we're about to unlock another thrilling chapter in the amazing world of American coins where small pocket change can secretly be worth a life-changing fortune. Our spotlight is shining on a coin that millions of people have handled without realizing that a rare version of it could make them instantly richer: the Roosevelt one dime from the year 1977. This tiny 10-cent coin has been part of everyday American life for decades, yet hidden among ordinary dimes are extremely rare and highly valuable treasures. So grab your magnifying glass and dive deep with me into the story of how a 1977 Roosevelt dime could be your ticket to an unbelievable payday. The tale of this extraordinary coin begins in the heart of the 1970s, a decade of bold style, economic challenges, and major cultural shifts. The United States Mint was busy producing millions of Roosevelt dimes for circulation, continuing a long tradition that started in 1946 when the coin was first introduced to honor President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. His strong and dignified profile on the obverse of the coin represents not only his leadership through the Great Depression and World War II, but also his tireless battle against polio through the March of Dimes campaign that helped save countless lives. On the reverse side stands the powerful trio of symbols: a bright flaming torch for liberty, the oak branch for strength, and the olive branch for peace, reminding Americans of the values their nation holds dear, even on the smallest denominations of currency. Now, while most people used and spent these dime coins every day without a second thought, something special was happening behind the scenes at the mint. A handful of these 1977 Roosevelt dimes came out with exceptional qualities, while a few slipped out with unusual mint errors. These rare varieties are what send collectors into an absolute frenzy, and they are the versions that could make someone's spare change worth thousands. It all begins with the mint mark. Look just above the date and you'll find a small but incredibly important letter: D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or no letter at all, which signifies the Philadelphia Mint. Mint marks play a crucial role in determining rarity because certain mints produced fewer high-quality examples or unique proof strikes, especially those from San Francisco, which were specially made for collectors, using polished blanks to create a deep mirror-like shine and frosty raised design. If kept untouched, these legendary proof coins can remain absolutely flawless for decades, and flawless is exactly what collectors desire most. Even more mesmerizing are the rare minting errors found on some 1977 dimes: off-center strikes where part of the design is missing or shifted, double die errors where the letters, numbers, or even Roosevelt's face appears slightly duplicated under magnification, clipped planchets where a chunk of metal is missing from the edge of the coin, and Incorrect planchet strikes where the dime was accidentally struck on metal intended for another denomination or even a foreign coin. These errors are incredibly rare and each one is unique, making them absolute prizes in the eyes of serious numismatists. As a result, coins with these bizarre features are often worth unbelievable amounts of money when they show up at auctions or coin shows, and what's mind-blowing is that some of these mistakes slipped right into ordinary change more than 40 years ago. Across the country, dedicated collectors and lucky amateurs alike search tirelessly, dumping rolls of dimes from banks onto tables, sorting through forgotten jars, ransacking old dressers, and studying inherited collections from grandparents. All for one exciting reason: the chance to find a flawless mint state or error variety 1977 Roosevelt dime. And if you want to start your search, here is what to look for. First, the coin's condition must be stunning: bright luster, mirror-like fields, and ultra-sharp detail with absolutely no wear. Roosevelt's hair should be crisply defined, the lettering should be bold and complete, the edge should have full readable reading with no flat spots from circulation. You'll want a good strong magnifier to inspect for doubling on the motto "In God We Trust," the date 1977, or edges of Roosevelt's jawline. Then carefully examine the reverse. Every leaf on the olive and oak branches should be clearly sculpted and the torch flames should look beautifully sharp. Next, hunt for those wild mint errors. The tiniest clip on the rim, a shifted design, or even a weird color can signal that your coin is something extraordinary. Treasure hunters love telling stories about how valuable coins have been discovered in pocket change while doing laundry, or in a jar tucked away in a garage for decades, or inside dusty piggy banks found while cleaning out attics. The magic of coin collecting is that you never know what surprise might be waiting, and a rare mint state or error 1977 Roosevelt dime might be hiding right now in your own home. This possibility makes every handful of change exciting. Before you spend or roll another dime from 1977, study it carefully, because that little silver-colored coin could be worth more than some people earn in an entire year. And now, for the incredible part that makes this story even more thrilling: if you discover a flawless high-grade or rare mint error version of the 1977 Roosevelt 1 dime, you could be staring at a shocking value of $65,000.